We miss seeing your kiddos on a daily basis. We miss interacting with you at our parent information meeting. This is all new, and I will tell you, your kiddos have an extraordinarily hard-working counseling team behind them. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Deb Berg. I'm the assistant principal over curriculum. And with us tonight, we have Miss Argier, who is new to Miller this year, but has just joined the team phenomenally, and we are so happy she's here with us. She is a 7th grade counselor and will be moving with the kiddos on to 8th grade. We have Miss Martinez here with us with her arm up in the air. She did, poor thing, just have to have surgery yesterday, but we're glad that she was able to make it with us. She is a 6th grade counselor, and she will be following the kiddos into 7th grade next year. And then, of course, we have Miss Florian with us. She is the 8th grade counselor, and she is definitely here for support. So I am going to turn it over to the counselors. They have a ton of information to share with you. They have met with your 6th and 7th graders throughout this week in their ELA class and gone over this presentation and their options with them. Ms. Flory and I will be pretty much manning the chat. So if you do have a question, feel free to put it in the chat, and we will answer it as we go along. And we will definitely have some time at the end for a question and answering. So I'm going to turn off my mute so you don't hear my dogs barking, and I will turn it over to Miss Argier.
Okay, thank you, Miss Berg. All right, welcome again, everyone. So as Miss Berg said, I went over this presentation with the 7th graders today and Tuesday, and Miss Martinez went over it with the 6th graders as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. So first, we talk about what does it take to move on to the next grade level. So CCSD has a promotion retention policy, and as you can see there, students have to pass their core classes. So if you have a current 6th grader, they have to pass a semester of math, a semester of English or reading, and 1 semester of science in order to be promoted to the next grade level. Okay, I also talked to kids about how, you know, we just ended quarter A. They still have quarter B to bring up their grade. So if they were struggling with the quarter A grade right now, they still have time to bring up their grades because the quarter A grade and the quarter B grade is combined with the final exam to make up a semester grade. So there is still time to pass the classes needed in order to move on to the next grade level. As far as 7th graders, it's the same thing, but you also have an added class of history, okay? And the schedules were put together where 7th graders had half science one year and half history, or either they flipped vice versa. So kiddos now that are in either science or history, they need to pass that class. It is a required core class for them. So they have, again, their math, English, science, and history. One thing I would like to note is if your kid's in a Math 6 or a Math 7 class, that class in the beginning of the year was called Fundamentals of Math. Now it's actually called the Math 7 or Math 6. That is the now credit-bearing class that those kids need to pass. Okay, so if your kid struggled in the beginning of the year, please reach out to either the counselor or the teacher for support so that we can help them. We have after-school assistance, anything we can do to help them get their grades up. Okay, so as far as 6th graders moving on to 7th grade next year, these are the classes that they're going to be having. So they're going to have an English language arts block, meaning that they would have 2 periods of that class. Okay, and then they would also have a math class, whether it be Math 7 or Accelerated 7. Some 7th graders may also have Algebra 1, depending on the track that they are on. Everyone would have a science class. Again, that could be your regular science, accelerated science, even a double accelerated science for 7th grade. And then there's also history. So that would be new for students right now that are in 6th grade moving into 7th. They will have a History and Geography 7 class next year in their schedule. So those would make up their 5 classes, because you have 2 English classes, and then which makes up the reading and English, and then math, science, and history, and then they would have room for 1 elective in their schedule next year. Okay. Now, in December, Ms. Martinez and I went into all the classes and did academic planning with the kids. They may have told you, or they may have, you know, said, hey, come look at my academic plan. And that's basically what it is. It's a plan that we do every year with the kids to say, okay, what classes do I think I'm going to take next year? It's not set in stone. And so the kids did that in December. Well, now the teachers have gone into their academic plan and have made all the recommendations for next year in regards to their core classes. So if your kid has been recommended for accelerated English, or if they've been recommended for their placement level of math, that's already been done. And it's in, they could see it under their academic plan. The only thing that wouldn't be correct in there right now is the elective. And that's what the kids are doing right now, is choosing their elective. Okay. History and Geography, the English teacher made that recommendation for whatever history they were going to be recommended for. If you currently have a 7th grader, then these are the classes that your student will be taking next year as an 8th grader. So again, you're going to have English, but that's only going to be 1 period. And then you'll have math, science, history. And then what's different from this year, if you have a 7th grader, is that they will have the health and PE next year. And how that works is it's going to be 1 semester of health and 1 semester of PE. So half the kids would have PE first and then move to health, and then half the kids would start with health and move to PE. So again, the teachers have gone in and already made recommendations in regards to the English, math, science, and history of what they've recommended for your child for next school year. So those are in there as well. So this schedule right here would leave one room for 1 elective as well. So now going into what electives are available, this just kind of shows everything. I can show you as well, once we kind of go over the electives, where you can find all of these and the course descriptions, so you have a better idea of what to expect, what's going to go on in the class. And I showed kids where that is, and I can show you as well. But we have advanced art. That's for 8th graders only. So if your child's been in the art program here and they really enjoyed it and they want to move to advanced art, they definitely can do that. And that's a full year course. And they can put that as their top choice. They're going to be making 4 choices. So I would recommend, if that's what they really want to do, put that as their first choice. If you have a current 6th grader who's moving on to 7th grade, they have the option to take intermediate art and beginning drama. This is a class that they would have art 1 semester and drama the next semester. So again, that would flip. So, and some may have beginning drama in the beginning. It just depends how the schedule is set up, but they would have 1 semester of each of those classes. And that's for 7th grade only. Okay. Band. So if your student is in 6th grade and is in band, or your student's in 7th grade in band and they want to continue with band, have them put band as their first choice. Our band teacher, Mr. Overlay, will give us a list of all the kids and what placement they should be in. So we'll get that. And so we'll match that up with the course elective requests from your students. Beginning band is usually for 7th grade only. I was telling students that are current 7th graders, if, like, say they're new to Miller and they've been playing an instrument outside of school and they really want to be in band, then just email me and, you know, we can talk to the teacher and see if we can get them placed in a different level band. But otherwise, the band teacher will let us know what the placement is. There's also jazz band available, which is an early bird class. That starts at 6:30 in the morning. And there's no bus transportation. So if your child's interested in taking an early bird class, then you just have to make sure that someone can take them there in the morning for that. Okay. And again, that's band teacher recommendation or even possibly an audition. And then we also have choir, same thing. Students can take choir. For the advanced choir, the choir teacher will give us a list of who's on that list to advance to the advanced choir. And then Explorations 8. I'm actually going to show you guys. So this is what our website looks like, and we have the tabs here. I'm going to show you these in a little bit, but I just wanted to show you this tab here. It's called the course catalog, and this is where you can go. I showed the kids today of where you can get a description of what these courses look like, so you have a better understanding. So if you go all the way down, I mean, it's going to have all of our classes, like the English, science, and all those too. Oops. But I'm going to go down to the electives so I can show you about Explorations. So the Explorations class is a one semester you'd have one class, and then the next semester you'd have another class. There it is. Okay, so for example, if your kid's like, well, what's Explorations 8? So right here, it's going to tell you Explorations 8 will rotate each semester. So you'll have 2 different classes. Right now, we don't know exactly what 2 classes, but it's going to be one of these 4 subjects. So we're going to either offer coding, national park studies, science careers, meaning you're going to be studying different careers in science, and or Tinkercad, which is like 3D modeling. And so if your student's interested, if these are like, okay, these 4 classes are something that interests me, something I would like to do, then they may want to pick Explorations because it could be any of those 4 classes that they take. Okay, so it could be coding and then you flip with Tinkercad or the science careers. So if your child's okay with any of those 4 subjects and they are excited about them and want to do it, then you would choose Explorations 8. Okay. So Explorations, I believe, was the last one on that slide, yes. So we'll continue. So the next option is foreign language. So here at Miller, we offer high school credit classes. And what that means is your child can take a high school credit course on our campus and get credit for high school. So if your student takes one of these classes, they will enter high school with a GPA, which is a grade point average from that class. So for example, if they took Spanish 1 here at Miller and got an A, that class would be on their high school transcript when they start 9th grade, and they would start out with a 4.0 GPA. So whatever grades you get in these high school credit classes go on that transcript. So what we're offering is if you have a 7th grader going into 8th grade, they can take French 1 next year. They can also take Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 for 7th graders going into 8th grade. So Spanish 2 honors is available to those students that passed and did well in Spanish 1. Spanish 1 is open to 7th and 8th graders. Okay, so if parents of 6th graders right now, your student can also take Spanish 1 next year. Spanish 1 is offered 2 different ways. It's offered as an early bird class, 6:30 in the morning, or it's offered during the school day. So there's 2 options for Spanish 1, and that goes for 7th and 8th grade. We do give priority early bird Spanish to 8th grade, but we do have some 7th grade seats. Counselor approval means that we look at grades and test scores. We look at also kids that are in accelerated English. Because we have so many kids that want Spanish, we have to narrow it down. So that is, we do look at grades, and so then we see how many kids request Spanish and then just start narrowing it down that way. So that's what counselor approval means. Moving on to leadership at student council. So if your student is interested and they have a lot of school spirit and want to help with spirit weeks and being involved in the school, then leadership may be something that they want to do. They do have to complete an application for that. I will show you where the applications are on the website. And leadership is also an early bird class. So that class is also at 6:30. And there's going to be a form where your student's going to fill out, and it's going to tell you exactly early bird, need an application. So you don't have to remember all this right now, because it will tell you on the form exactly what you need to do for that elective choice. Okay, and then we also have math counts, which it says explorations on the transcript, but it's a class that if your kiddo's really into math, really enjoys math, and wants some higher level thinking with math, they could do some competitions, problem solving, that type of stuff, then they may want to do math counts as an elective. It doesn't count as a math credit, it's just an additional elective that's math related. And that's open to 7th and 8th grade. And then we also have orchestra. It's the same as the band. Orchestra, again, the teacher will give us a list of those who are recommended to advance to the next level. So if your child wants to continue with orchestra, have them put that on there, and we will get them their next level of orchestra. Beginning orchestra is usually for 7th grade only, but if there's a special circumstance and your 8th grader really wants to take orchestra and hasn't yet, just let me know, or Miss Sanders know, and we can work on that. Okay, peer advocate. So peer advocate is like a student aid, but your child would be working in our special needs classroom. So if you have a child that's really interested in helping others and is interested in working with kids with special needs, then peer advocate may be something that they would really enjoy. So they would be in one of the special needs classrooms with a teacher and helping them. There is an application online for that one, and just ask questions like, have you ever worked with kids with special needs? Why would you want to? That sort of thing. Okay, and then PE 7. So this is only for 7th graders. Since there isn't PE built in the 7th grade schedule, this can be an elective for 7th graders, and it's an all-year course. Okay, so some kids just like that outdoor energy, exercise, and so that is available for 7th grade only. And then we also have publications, which is our yearbook. So if your child is interested in participating with the yearbook, they can, design the yearbook pages, take pictures, do writing. So yearbook's a fun class if your child is interested in that sort of thing. So that's called publications, and that is open to 7th and 8th graders as well, and also requires an online application. And then we have STEM, which is like science, technology, engineering, mathematics, like your robotics type of class. So if your child is geared towards those type of things, mathematics, engineering, science, the robotics type of thing, then this may be the class for them. It does require an online application. So, and again, I'll show you where you guys can find all of these. And then we also have, this is for 8th grade only. So it's Student Aid, Office Aid, and Google Guru. So if your child wants to be an office aide, it's kind of like the peer advocate, but not in a special needs class. So a student aid, you'd be assigned to, like, say, a regular Math 6 class or a science class. And you would work with that teacher, and they would have things for the students to do. The office aide is your child would be assigned to the office, the main office, and maybe they'd work with the counselors and run passes to classes to get kids, and maybe they do some filing or putting projects together. So things like that, office secretarial type of things. And then Google Guru is a student aid for the library. So we have Miss Norman, our librarian, but she also takes care of all the Chromebooks and technology on campus. And so if your student is tech savvy and would like to work with Miss Norman in the library, helping her with the Chromebooks, then that would be something they could do. The Google Guru does require an application, and it says that on the form. So again, these are 8th grade only, the student aids. We also have student cafeteria training. So that's if your kid wants to help with the whole process of getting lunch. So they would be helping set up the lunch, taking orders, giving out the lunch, cleaning up. So that whole process in the kitchen. So if your student's interested in doing that, that's open to 7th and 8th grade. Counselor approval just means that we're going to just be looking at attendance and grades, that sort of thing. Okay, and then television production. Most of your kids have probably seen our Mornings at Miller, our broadcast that we do. And so if your child's interested in writing, video production, editing, that sort of thing, then television production might be for them. And that also requires online application. Okay. All right. So just to recap, these are our early bird classes. Jazz band, that requires the band teacher recommendation. Leadership, which requires the application. And then Spanish. So those are the only 3 options that we have for early bird. Again, that's the 6:30 a.m. class, and bus transportation is not provided for those. Early bird Spanish is only offered for students who wish to take an additional elective in one of the following courses, like art, band, choir, math counts, orchestra, publications, STEM, or television production. So in other words, we're not going to give a student early bird Spanish because they want student aid in their schedule. It's more for students that want to continue with something they've been doing, like the choir for 3 years, and now they want to take a foreign language. So we give priority for the early bird to students that want to continue in something, but also want to take the foreign language. And then again, we go off of course placement, grades, standardized test scores for the Spanish. Okay. So this one is for 8th grade only. If your student's going into 8th grade, it's a class called journalism. And what it is, it's their English class and journalism class in one. So if you have a child that's going into accelerated 8 English next year, they could be in this class called journalism, and they would get their English credit and write for the newspaper at the same time. So in other words, if they chose this class, they wouldn't have English 8 on their schedule, they would have journalism. And then that would open another slot for another elective. Okay, so if your child's interested in writing for the newspaper, they could select journalism, and it would also give them their accelerated 8 English credit. And that requires an application as well. And teacher recommendation is accelerated 8 English. Okay, so that brings us to summer school. Some of your students may have talked to 8th graders in the past about, oh, you can take summer school and get another elective. So I kind of wanted to touch base on this so you guys know what's going on with that. So most 8th grade students will receive 1 elective class during their 8th grade school year. Okay, and we talked about that in the beginning, how they have their health and science and math and history and all that, and it leaves one slot for an elective. Students that would like to take an additional elective during the school day can take a semester of Health 8 and a semester of PE 8 during the summer. So that would, if a child takes those 1 semester of Health and 1 semester of PE, then they no longer have to take it their 8th grade year, because then they took it previously in the summer. So that opens a spot to have an additional elective. It's not necessary or recommended for students to have more than 1 elective in 8th grade unless the student is taking performing arts and a foreign language. So again, if your child is in STEM or art or choir or orchestra or band or something like that they've done, and they don't want to give that up, but they still want to take Spanish, then the summer school is going to be a good option for you. So students can't take Health 8 and PE 8 to be a student aid. So we wouldn't be like, go to summer school so you can be a student aid, okay? Students that elect to take a course during summer school are not guaranteed their top elective choices for the 21-22 school year. So essentially, you know, if we have all these people taking summer school, everyone might not get the 2 top electives that they wanted. Okay, so we try our best to get everyone what they want, but sometimes it's just not possible if we have so many kids that want the same class. So when will all this be available? Summer school information usually doesn't come out till end of March, early April. And so once I have that, I was telling the kids, I will either go into the classroom, they will get the information, and then they have to come to their grade level counselor. So if you have a current 7th grader, that would be me. If you have a 6th grader, that would be, well, Miss Martinez, I don't think they're not taking summer school, 6th graders. No, so it would just be me. So this applies to 7th grade students currently only. So you would contact me, and then by then I will have all their elective choices, and I will be able to talk to them and say, okay, why do you want to take summer school? Let's look at your elective options. Let's look what your schedule might look like next year. And then if we agree this is something that they should do, then I can get them signed up. And so right now I don't have any information whether summer school is going to be online, in class, how much it's going to be, when it's going to be. And so when I do have that, I will get that out, and then you guys can contact me and we can get your kiddos signed up if that's what they want to do. Okay, so the applications, so if your child is wanting to do leadership or journalism, one of those classes that requires a application, the applications are due by Monday, February 22nd. Okay, all of this information can be found on the Bob Miller website. So let me just take you there so I can show you. Well, first, this is the website, it's bobmillerms.com. So if you guys want, if you need to write that down, go ahead. But this is where all the information, the pre-registration form, the course catalog, and the application information will all be found, okay? Your student's gonna be filling out the pre-registration form, and that form is due by this Tuesday coming up. So they have this weekend, we're off on Monday, and they have until Tuesday to get that in. And just so you know, they have to use the CCSD email address in order to fill out the application. So if it's not working, it might be because you're logged into your email on your computer. So just make sure that it's with a CCSD email and it should work. So let me show you the forms that we're talking about. So if you go to the Miller website, right when you get on the front page, these are the 2 forms. So if you have a 6th grader right now going into 7th grade, you're going to be clicking on this 7th grade pre-registration form. Okay, it says every possible attempt is made to accommodate students' elective choices. However, once elective classes are full, students will be placed in an alternate class based on available seats. This form is due on the 16th. So your child would go through it, put their last name, first name, student number, and then it's going to give you a drop-down list of all the different electives that are available. So this is for 6th graders right now going into 7th. You would see, okay, Spanish 1, I don't want it early bird, so I would pick not early bird, and it says counselor approval, okay? Or I really want early bird, so I'm gonna put that one, okay? And I see that says counselor approval. Next, you're like, well, if I don't get early bird, maybe I want Spanish 1, not early bird. Okay, so you could do that. And then 3rd choice, maybe you're gonna say, I wanna do peer advocate. It's gonna tell you, must submit an application. And then last, maybe you want publications. And again, that will say, must submit an application. So I really stress to the kids, make sure that you are putting 4 different ones in there, because like say you just put Spanish 1 for all 4 choices. That's not going to guarantee that you're getting it. Now I just don't know what else to put you in, and then I have to choose. So I told the kids, I don't want to have to choose for you. So make sure you're putting all the choices so that we can go through and at least get you something that you want in case we can't get your 1st or 2nd choice. Once you've done that, we've told the kids to go over this with you guys. So if you have any comments or concerns, you could put it here and then just type your name. So once that's submitted, then that goes to us. Then your child would want to go back to the Miller website and find the elective applications. So you would click on that, and this is where you're going to find all the links to the different applications. So just have them write down what electives they chose that needed an application, and then go here and have them complete that, okay? And these applications are due by February 22nd, okay? Also, we were telling students that if they filled out 4 different choices and 3 of them needed applications, go ahead and have them fill out the 3 applications just in case they want that class, because if we don't have the application and they're not approved, we can't put them in the class even though they said they wanted it, okay? So that's just really important. I know one student had emailed me about the Mornings at Miller application, and it said at the top of that application, only submit if it's your first choice. So just read the application and see what it says. If it does say just submit if it's your first choice, then do that. But otherwise, if it doesn't, just have them fill out all the applications. If we go back, I was just going to show the 8th grade one. So these are for 7th graders that are going on to 8th grade. Says the same thing, basically the same thing. Last name, first name, student number, just their choices are, they have a few more choices and different choices. So again, just have them fill out what they want. A lot of students were asking, well, which one do I put first? And they were asking about early bird. And I was just suggesting if they want an early bird class, have them put that one first. That way I can see if I can get them into the early bird. And then if I can't, then I can move on to their other option. Because if they put something else first, I might not even see that they wanted early bird because it was 2nd or 3rd, and then I'm not even looking down there because I got them in their first choice, if that makes sense. So yeah, so just have them put all those in. Again, just the comment or concern, and type your name there. So they just have to do 3 things. Look at this course catalog. That was that one I showed you earlier with all the descriptions. So if you had any, because some of the classes require a fee for materials. So just make sure that they're looking at all of that and understand, okay, this is the class I want. Then they would fill out the pre-registration form. That one is due on the 16th. And then they would fill out the elective applications.
And one thing, if I can interject, Ms. Argier, is I've had some students email me and say, well, I changed my mind on my choices, and they went ahead and did their second choice. So I said, that's fine, because I'll go by the date and stamp that we get. I'll go by the last one. So if your child has already filled out something and you both discuss it and you want to change it, go ahead and resubmit another one, and I'll go by, again, by that, we'll go by the date and the stamp, the last one that we received. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Martinez. I had a student email me that as well, and I told him just fill it out again. And so, yes, we'll just go by. It's easier for us if they just fill it out again, because then I can just sort it by timestamp and then them emailing me the changes. So no worries on that. This is what I showed the kids. Basically what I just said, they've got to locate the course catalog, locate that pre-registration form, fill out the 4 electives, and then submit an application for any of the electives that require that they wanted. And then we told them that their choices are a 1-year commitment. So, you know, we try our best to get everyone a class that they want, and we staff accordingly. And so, you know, we can't have changes next school year. Oh, I didn't want this class type of thing. We just don't have the room to do that. So that's why it's so important too, to just make sure that they're reading that course catalog and knowing exactly what the class is going to be like. Again, I've said this too, their top 3 choices require an application. You must fill out an application for all of the choices, and you may end up with any of your 4 elective choices based upon availability. And then these were just important dates Tuesday already passed. We have all the information up on the website already, so that's good to go. And then Tuesday is when the elective forms are submitted, and then Monday is the next, the following Monday is when the applications are submitted. So that's basically all I have to say in regards to our presentation. I know you guys had some questions in the chat, and I think those have been answered as we go. But if anyone has any questions, please let us know. If you don't, you're free to go.